Bill Welch, Portsmouth. The renewal bill has been referred to as automatic. That's not correct. Automatic would be when my concealed carry permit expires, I'd receive one in the mail. This is a streamlining of the process. I still have to go to the police. I still have to fill out an application. I still have to go through a background check. The police still have an opportunity to recognize me as a bad character in the town, and I can be denied for that reason. If there's any situation that arises while I have it that disqualifies me and I escape detection and loss of my license, they will catch me when I go through NICS again. So it's not automatic. That's a misnomer. It just makes it easier. Some people find it a very onerous process. Right now, in my town, I have to go through the whole process again as though I never applied in the first place. But I have 4 years behind me of good behavior, no problem. Another thing that continues to come up, regardless of how many times it's debunked, it comes up every time, the gun show loophole. There is no such thing as a gun show loophole. If you're in the business of selling firearms, whether it's in a store or at a gun show or over the internet, it is a violation of federal law to do so without making people go through a background check. Gun show loophole does not exist. The Rhode Island Coalition Against Gun Violence has this very cute little campaign: 3 rounds to shoot a duck, 5 rounds to shoot a deer, unlimited rounds to kill children. The difference here is that the deer and the ducks are not shooting back. We are going down the road of Connecticut and New York. Same essential bills. New York's process is a disaster. There are 1 million people who are supposed to turn in their firearms or register. 3 or 4 years later, the maximum number, there's a range between 25,000 and 45,000 who have done so. So that state legislature has created 900,000 felons. New York and Connecticut did the same thing that's being considered here, and it hasn't worked. It hasn't achieved anything positive. There are millions, tens of millions of these magazines of more than 12 rounds out there already. People are going to be turning these in, tens of millions out there. That's just not going to happen. As far as the CCWs in school are concerned, I went to the Violence Policy Center website. This is a notoriously anti-firearms group that exists primarily to make up statistics to prove nonsense. But I figured if you went there and they could possibly find anything to complain about CCWs, I'd find it there. I read the whole section. Long. How many... Can't hear me?
No, now we can.
Okay. How many cases of CCWs opening fire in Rhode Island schools? Not a single one. How many cases in the entire United States? Not a single one. And this is a group that would turn over every rock if they could find one. They can't find one. If you go to the internet, you will find dozens of cases where CCWs have either prevented or reduced the number of students killed because they were there and they took action. These are people who take the responsibility to protect their own lives, and in the case of children, maybe protect the lives of people they don't even know. That's brave. That's not to be ridiculed. That's not to be made fun of, like the lunch lady with the Glock kind of nonsense. As far as the gun-free zone that you create with the schools is concerned, when you take a look at the school shootings, you find that the vast majority are in gun-free zones. And it has been said that, and again it was said by the head of the Rhode Island Coalition Against Firearms, that the people who do these shootings have a grudge against the school. When you take a look at what's available about those shootings, that is absolutely not the case. Most of them are not connected with the school in any way. Why do they go there? Well, you don't know for sure, but when you have the preponderance of them being gun-free zones, and you have the preponderance of these criminals who, when you read what there is available about them, you find out that they want attention. They want maximum attention. Where do you get that? You get that by killing the most people you can, and you get that by killing children. If you kill adults in some other setting, it doesn't last as long in the press. If you commit mass murder in schools, it hangs around forever. And in conclusion, every year you spend a lot of time up there listening, and people who have nothing to do with murders have to get out of work early and come up here and testify on a false premise. And that premise is this, that the people who go through the legal process to get firearms are in some way related to the murders. When you take a look at honest statistics, which it would be nice if the people on the other side would ever have the intellectual honesty to do that, when you take a look, you find that the vast majority, I'm trying to remember the statistic, but it's over 75% of the murders that are committed by gang members and drug dealers, not people who have firearms legally. So we all spend all this time with all these bills to go after law-abiding citizens when we should be talking about what we can do to keep guns out of the hands of criminals. In most cases, none of the laws that we've been talking about will do any of that.